The Sports Desk, brought to you this week by the letter Hoops. Yes, we know that's not a letter. Either way, get ready for some South Bay basketball with league games looming large. At West High, an underclassman taking the reins for the ladies' Bay League frontrunner, while another lady at Bishop Montgomery gets her hair did at halftime for the newest superstition in the Southern section. Plus, we've got two Pioneer boys squads wrapping up the preseason with different experiences and opposite records, but the challenge remains the same. Set out for league games on a positive note. All that's coming up and more. Another week of South Bay prep and local sports on the Sports Desk, and it starts right now. Hey there, Torrance. Great to see you for another week right here on the Sports Desk with me, your host, Wan Hernandez. So, like I said, lots of hoops action this week as our Torrance schools across the Bay, Pioneer, and Delray leagues all gear up for their runs at league crowns and bids into the CIF Southern Section playoffs. But playoffs are still pretty far away, bro. You got to take it one game at a time. And that, my friends, is the exact key advice we're getting from the South Bay's youngest and, safe to say, pretty wise hoop star, Jasmine Jones. Don't quote me on the bro part, though. Anyway, a year ago, the West Warriors were Bay League co-champs without Jones. They won over 20 games and rolled out an 8-2 league record. Now, they're the clear favorite to take the Bay League for their own, touting a hot freshman that already has colleges knocking on her door. One game at a time. Rachel Brady has that story.
Jasmine Jones is a true testament that hard work pays off. Already competing at the varsity level, this girl is not settling just yet.
I just need to get better every single time I step on the court. For me, that's what I want to do. And for me, excelling is not giving up on any plays, I miss a basket and I don't get back on defense, me fouling someone and then screaming at the refs and not keeping my composure. Basically, I just need for me, 110, 130% is keep on going no matter what comes at me, like hard or something.
Jasmine's composure, preparation, and fearless mentality are all reasons why her team relied on her for a moment like this.
12 seconds left on the clock. We're down by 2. I got the rebound. There was no one basically in front of me, so I'm like, well, you need to take that ball all the way to the basket, get it and one, but make it, don't miss it. Go down, dribble, make it. I made it. We tied the game, and so I was guarding the inbound, and coach called timeout, and we got decided from there. I never want to be put in that situation again. We need to come out 100% next time, but it was very, very emotionally exciting.
As the only freshman on the women's varsity basketball team and winning MVP at the Inglewood Tip-Off Tournament, it's no wonder why colleges all across the country are asking, who is Jasmine Jones?
I've received maybe 9 or 10 college letters. What I look for in a university, academics is number one for me. I do want the college experience of playing basketball. So for me, it's just improving every game.
Thanks for that, Rachel. Not too shabby, turning college recruiters' heads as a freshman in high school, and wise words from a young athlete with a lot of work in front of her before those official scholarship offers get serious. Now, if I can pass on any wisdom myself to you, Jasmine, as you make a name for yourself around the Southern section, loved the play-by-play there on that coast-to-coast game-tying drive. You sounded like a broadcast pro, but all the real superstars refer to ourselves in the third person. That's just a fact. Juan does it all the time. NFL wide receivers, you name it, you're in good company with us, JJ. The ladies of West High wrap up a solid 17-2 preseason with that win over Culver City. We're not working with a one-woman squad, though. The Warriors looking every bit the well-rounded team top to bottom that's expected to take the Bay League this year. They put up 72 against Torrance with 10 different players scoring points. Kylie Fujioka leading the way with 19, Jones contributing 12 rebounds on the evening before West tips off a Bay League games this week against none other than the squad they shared last year's league championship with, Miracosta. Moving on to another solid girls team in town, over in the Del Rey League, the Bishop Montgomery Knights are also one of the South Bay's favorites to earn some hardware this season. The Knights featuring a bit more experience up and down their roster than the young West squad, but they're not exactly over the hill themselves. With league on the immediate horizon, just like everybody else, a nice winning streak seemed like just what the doctor would have ordered for the black and gold before turning their attention to taking a Del Rey League title in 2013.
Bishop Montgomery girls basketball ended their preseason games on a high note, beating Miracosta at home, another big South Bay win. The Knights had a sluggish start to the game, only scoring 18 points in the first half. Even though they held the Mustangs to 8 points at halftime, Coach Reyes believes her players were a little fatigued, especially since it was their third game in a row.
Definitely. I think I was fatigued. My voice is gone. You can't hear me. And I thought they fought through it. And the only reason we won tonight is because our defense and our rebounding. And that's why we won the last 2 games.
The team was led by junior Christine Delapina with 21 points, 16 in the second half. Throughout the season, Christine has been working on improving the mental part of her game.
I've been getting in my own head a lot, and that's what's affecting my game right now. I realized that I had to be more confident in my shot. I can't keep getting in my own head once I miss one. I just got to keep moving on to the next play.
This grueling preseason schedule will prepare the Knights for league and CIF playoffs, which is what matters most.
They're going to be tough. Every team is going to be tough. There's no really terrible team in this league, so we got to be prepared.
Our league's pretty difficult. Everyone in our league is really athletic. They all want to get to the finals. So we're just trying to go out there, prove people wrong, and give our best effort.
After scoring 32 points in the second half, the Knights defeated Miracosta 50-31. This is their third victory in a row against some quality teams and definitely gave them a boost of confidence as they start league play. From Torrance, this is Raina Ale reporting for the Sports Desk.
Thank you, Raina. Like I said, Bishop looking to wrap up the preseason on a hot streak. That win against Costa definitely helped the cause, but 3 in a row was all she wrote because the Knights run into a rough one against Sierra Canyon over the weekend. Now, they all count as this week marks the beginning of Bishop's march towards a league title at home against Bishop Amat and on the road versus rival LaSalle, and we're all off and running. Okay, everybody, break time on the Sports Desk. We've given you some girls hoops action in town. Time for the boys to do their thing. Up next, we circle back to a Pioneer League squad y'all met not too long ago. They put in the work during the offseason, and if their preseason record is any indication, the rest of the Pioneer League might want to keep their heads on a swivel.
Oh, hey, bud.
Oh.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
It's a school night. With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
Not sure about those two. I've been meaning to ask you. This is tougher than I thought. Is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
I hope not, because alcohol can lead you to say things and do things that you really wish you hadn't. Isn't this what you're supposed to say?
I know.
So if any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you.
Ryan.
Yeah?
So start the conversation even before they're teenagers.
Good idea.
For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
We are this close.
We're this close.
We are this close. Of uncertainty to making history.
This close to changing the world.
We are this close.
This close. This close to making sure no child suffers a crippling disease
ever again. This close.
We are this close to ending polio.
To ending polio. All we need is you.
This close.
If we don't act now, we may lose this chance forever. Help Rotary make history at endpolionow.org.
Hey, Torrance, welcome back to the Sports Desk. As promised, plenty of hardwood news and updates. And now we're going to move on to the boys around town. We'll start it at North High with a team that finished up 2013 near the top, but not quite at the peak. Second in the standings with a solid league record, but just a hair above 500 on the entire season. If you looked at that on paper before this season started, you might not make lofty predictions for this year's North Saxon squad. But as our Tamerlada is about to show you, that's just on paper, and 2014 is a whole new year.
For many teams, it was their first time playing in the new year. With just 6 days into 2014, the North boys basketball team got their first win through cohesiveness.
I think we played really well. Our defense improved compared to our last tournament, and we really showed Coach that, we're improving, and, he was really proud of us tonight, so we'll take that.
We overall played as a team and played really good, and we could improve in some areas, but overall we did a really good job.
New year, new mindset. The Saxons are leaving their bad habits in the past and focusing on the future. Instead of relying on certain players, they are looking to rely on one another.
Ball movement was a lot better than it was in the past. We normally wouldn't pass that extra pass, but now, we're feeling a lot comfortable passing it, and we're trusting our team a lot more. We're getting back to our North High basketball. So I'd say all around we did a lot better than we did in the past.
North found their success on the defensive end. They combined for 24 defensive rebounds, 20 steals, and 7 forced turnovers. Now, despite the huge performance on defense, they had a total of 14 turnovers. Coach Jolson told me that was a concern. He said they need to be patient and not get too animated.
If we move in the right position, throw the ball in the right places, then we do very well. But when we just don't do that, we just throw it away a lot.
They are hoping to carry over the same energy and effort on defense against Centennial Wednesday night.
You like to push the ball. If we're pushing the ball, we're doing it right. Our North High team likes to press and likes to run. So as long as we're doing that, then we're good.
Well, that's going to be kind of on us, the big team, and we're just going to have to play like a team, play like family, and just try to be tough. But I think we could beat them if we play our game.
Appreciate that, Tamara. So North High's boys on fire through December and the first couple weeks of 2014. Their preseason win total just one game short of their entire season compilation of wins last season. And remember, this is a squad that still went 7-3 against the Pioneer League and finished second behind Lawndale. So North High, a lot to be confident about as they will hit the road with 2 away games in league this week. They'll go into the weekend with a much hyped matchup against the Torrance Tartars to see who can take early control of the Pioneer League. Meanwhile, the boys of South High not exactly laying down and letting their rivals run away with it this year. Things started off pretty rough for the Spartans, losing 7 of their first 8, opening up the season with 5 straight losses. But rather than write themselves off, they've done exactly what a team's supposed to do in the preseason. Keep working. Turning things around with a near 500 record since then. As far as playoff seeding is concerned, every game doesn't really count until you play league, but that doesn't mean the Spartans have been treating it that way. Haley Outen has that story.
In any sport, preseason is the time to work out all the kinks before heading into league when it matters most. The Spartans of South High may not have the results to show for it, but they have been learning, progressing, and getting to know each other. Luckily, it's finally starting to show.
During practice, we've been bonding a lot better, so I think our team chemistry is getting better, which is making us play better.
Well, they're a young team, but they're starting to care for each other more. And when you care for each other, you make sacrifices for one another. As evidenced by tonight, you saw that we shared the ball really well. People are passing, even when they have a good shot, they're passing to a teammate to get the best shot.
The South High basketball team hasn't exactly had the preseason they were hoping for, posting a 4-11 record. But this might be exactly what the Spartans needed. This game against La Quinta was their last one before really getting down to business entering the Pioneer League season, and is hopefully the confidence booster the Spartans need before entering that final stretch with a fresh start.
This game has given us some confidence, but we've been gaining confidence in the last 7 to 10 days because we've been practicing well. And that's the most important thing, is how you practice. You've got to get in a repetition mode of doing the right things the right way more than 1 or 2 possessions, and we've really been practicing pretty well, so that's what I'm excited about.
Going into league, I think that's a good thing, but we shouldn't get too excited about it because we should just focus on what we have coming ahead of us.
Even after putting up 82 points against the Aztecs and only giving up 34, the Spartans aren't letting this game get to their head too much. Rather, they are focusing on what it is they as a team are capable of doing next.
Well, we look at our personnel each year, and relative to who we have, what their strengths are, we want to capitalize on that. So I don't want to say too much and give things away, but we're playing a different kind of defense than we did initially in the pre-league, and a little different than what we've done in the past, and we're getting better at it, and we've played real well in our last 3 games. And so I feel like we're getting prepared in a way that puts us in good position relative to starting our league. Obviously, we're going to go game at a time, but the boys are paying attention, and we've had good practices.
Right now, we don't really have a goal. We just want to take it game by game and see how we do each game. Try and pull out every game and then get it, win.
And going game by game seems to be the common theme on this team, not worrying so much about the opponents, but rather what they have control over, and that is their preparation and performance.
I'm not going to think about standings. I'm thinking about our capability, and I'm not focusing on any one team. I've scouted every team, but I'm focusing on what we do well, and we're confident we can do it very well starting Friday night here at home against Centennial.
Thank you, Haley. Taking a quick look at how the Pioneer League teams fared in the preseason, their respective records they'll carry with them into league games starting this week in South Bay High gymnasiums everywhere. North and Torrance at the top of the pack. The Tartars doubling their win total for all of 2013, feeling good about themselves with that head-to-head matchup against North at the end of this week here. South definitely on the rise. Remember, they've been playing catch-up since day one, having to make up for those 5 losses that kicked off this year's campaign. Again, these aren't standings because the only wins that actually matter when it comes to pushing your way into CIFs is how many wins and losses they'll have against these teams right here. Hey, time for our second break. We've walked you through the hoop scene in Torrance, so we'll come back here with a few more quick updates on the week that was in Torrance sports, some soccer, maybe a little Elko. I don't know, I'll Seacrest it and leave you hanging here to find out the rest after the break.
We're here today to ask people about marriage.
For starters, what's the best thing about being married?
Who I get to stay married to. Family.
Togetherness.
To me, is having a companion.
This person.
My favorite thing about being married is that I have a partner.
Do you think your marriage is good for more than just the 2 of you?
Does it influence those around us?
Yeah, I think.
In a positive way?
I think so.
I would hope that people would see that when we're together that we really have a very true affection for each other.
What everybody wants, and we know we're lucky to have it.
The energy we give out in our home, I think, spreads out to other people.
Your marriage just continues to go on and on and on.
Oh, sure, and affect generations after us.
I think it really sort of stabilizes your whole community. It's a cornerstone of a society, right?
Sounds like a good marriage goes a long way.
It touches a lot of people.
Want to improve your marriage? For ideas, go to foryourmarriage.org. A message from the Catholic Church.
One of my biggest passions in life is animals. That's why I've worked with Morris Animal Foundation for over 40 years. Morris Animal Foundation is a world leader in helping animals live longer, healthier lives. You can too. Just show your support at morrisanimalfoundation.org.
To help cats, dogs, horses, and wildlife live healthier lives, visit morrisanimalfoundation.org, where we are advancing science that will create a healthier tomorrow for animals.
Hi, Torrance. Welcome back to the Sports Desk. You got plenty of basketball as teams jump into league play. I know you're just as excited now for soccer to kick off the same. In the Del Rey League, that'll be an end-of-the-week matchup at home for the Bishop Montgomery Knights against Bishop Amat. Amat edged out by the Knights for second place in league last season. Going to be hungry when they come to town against a struggling Bishop Montgomery squad now. And West High facing a couple challenges right away in their Bay League's second week. 2 rivals right off the top. They opened up with a loss to Redondo last week, and at the end of this week, they get a home matchup against defending league champ Palos Verdes. The ladies on the pitch, we heard a lot about them last week, specifically on the lookout for South and Torrance High. The Tartars tired of playing on the losing side of that rivalry with the Spartans, so they're going to get their first crack at them this week. Last season, South swept the season series, round 1 of 2 in Pioneer League, going down at Torrance High, and the Sports Desk going to be there to bring you the action. Meanwhile, the ladies at North High going to be waiting for the Tartars as soon as that matchup's done. Torrance goes on the road across town to run with the Saxons. North going to be looking to work their way into the mix atop the Pioneer League. And that, my friends, is how we will all kick off our 2014 winter season in league. So when you see us next week, all the standings, all the scores are going to be for keeps this time around. So guess what? You'll want some updated scores throughout the week. Maybe keep up with what's going on here on the show next time you tune in. Well, check out our Facebook page. You'll get some photos, whether it's here in the studio or on the field itself. Either way, more quality time with Juan is never a bad thing at all. Facebook.com, the SportsDesk TV, and of course, our email address is always another quick and easy way to get in touch with your friends here at CitiCABLE. All right, everybody, that wraps another week. We will see you next time. Can't wait for it.